Okay, this little product here, Pronone Power Pellet. The active ingredient in Velpar is hexazinone. Active ingredient in this is hexazinone. Same product, except this is a little pellet. It's a little gray pellet. And okay, it still has this on the label. I didn't know county agents read labels, but when my guys read the label and called me and said, "Hey Bob," when this first came out, he said, "What is this on the label that says it kills oaks, but then in parentheses it says except live oak?" Well, the way I was taught to read, except means not. So that's, to me, this says this doesn't kill a live oak. I'll kiss your foot if it doesn't. And you won't even have to wash it. So I'll win that bet, I know. This will kill an oak. Okay? It's, the advantage of this is that it's a pellet. You don't have to put the herbicide in the bladder. You don't have the cleanup that you do, but there's no free lunch. You take this and you throw it on the ground, that little gray pellet, how do you know where you treat it? When we put this out in some demonstration plots, what we did is we actually carried one of these sheep bladders around just with water and dye, and wherever we treated a tree, we squirted on the ground. Actually, I think we had a backpack, but we marked it with dye. That's actually easier than the toilet paper. So, no free lunch, but it works just as well as the liquid Velpar, but it has also all the same drawbacks, all the same cautions. Okay? All right. Mechanically, on ash juniper, blueberry juniper, this works. All you got to do is get down there and get below the green. If there's no green left on the plant, it's done for. Okay? Done for. If you've got the red berry, you've got to get that ball out of the ground, that bud zone out of the ground. And that's a little harder to do, especially on plants that get to be 8 to 10 years old. Okay. These loppers, they'll work. You can come along. Now, I've seen loppers that, long handle loppers that at the end, it kind of bends up a little bit. Those would probably work better than this, because this I'm going to have to do a little bending. But I get down there, and I've got a little bit of green in the ground there, so I'm not going to get this one. But if I pull that green out, now there's no green, I've got it. Okay? So the idea is you get below the green, and you can cut it off with a chainsaw, you can put an axe to it, whatever, but you don't leave any green, that one's gone. You don't have to use herbicides if you don't want to. Okay. This is not my invention. I do listen to people when they tell me things work, and I was going around to different meetings in my district, and people were telling me, well, I put a saw blade on my weed eater, and I'm doing a good job on that cedar. Well, this happens to be a brush cutter, and we put a saw blade on this, and it'll cut up to 2-inch diameter, and it'll cut through that like butter. It does a really good job. If you want, so there's all kinds of ways to cut the cedar. But you got to watch out for the rocks though with this. And there are other types of these cutters out there, other brands of these cutters out there. So I'm just mentioning that this is another possibility for the blueberry cedar, because it doesn't resprout. It won't work on the red berry.